Gigi Hadid has long been a household name in the world of fashion and entertainment. But behind her dazzling career stands her mother, Yolanda Hadid, who has been a guiding force in her life since the very beginning. Recently, Yolanda's attention turned toward one of the most influential voices in music and culture today, Taylor Swift. Taylor, known not only for her chart-topping songs but also for her wisdom about life, friendship, and resilience, shared advice that has quietly resonated with many. When Yolanda heard about Taylor's message, her reaction carried warmth, reflection, and admiration. It wasn't a headline about glamour or controversy, it was about the power of words, and how guidance can shape the way we see the world. Taylor's advice, as always, was wrapped in her characteristic honesty. She reminded young women to trust themselves, to embrace their individuality, and to protect their own boundaries in a world that often tries to define them. For someone like Gigi, who has navigated fame from such a young age, these words carried weight. And for Yolanda, the mother who has watched her daughter grow under the spotlight, Taylor's perspective felt deeply personal. Yolanda has always been protective of her children. Her years in the entertainment and modeling industry taught her how demanding and unforgiving it can be. Hearing Taylor speak about self-worth and empowerment reminded Yolanda of the lessons she has tried to pass down to her own daughters. She couldn't help but feel gratitude that such advice was being amplified by someone with a global platform. Taylor's words, in Yolanda's eyes, weren't just lyrics or interviews, they were reminders of strength. They reinforced the values that mothers like her want their daughters to remember when the cameras are off and the world feels heavy. Yolanda has never been shy about expressing admiration for people who uplift and inspire. Her reaction wasn't about celebrity culture, it was about kindness, empathy, and authenticity. She appreciated that Taylor wasn't afraid to speak directly about the pressures of public life. She valued how Taylor balanced vulnerability with resilience, showing young women that it's okay to struggle, but essential to rise again. Gigi herself has often described Taylor as not only an icon but also a true friend. Their bond has been visible for years, from public events to quiet moments captured by fans. Yolanda, as a mother, has witnessed how such friendships provide strength during challenging times. Knowing that her daughter is surrounded by people who truly care is perhaps the greatest comfort of all. Taylor's advice extended beyond fame. It touched on themes of love, loss, confidence, and self-acceptance. Yolanda recognized how important it is for women in the public eye to have role models who speak truthfully. For her, Taylor's message was more than just encouraging words, it was a gentle push toward resilience and clarity. She admired Taylor's courage to share personal struggles, transforming them into lessons for millions. As a mother, Yolanda related deeply to this. She too had lived through moments where strength was the only option. She too knew the importance of turning pain into growth. Her reaction was not about excitement or headlines, it was about respect. Respect for someone who used influence not for spectacle, but for sincerity. Respect for the way Taylor has remained grounded despite overwhelming fame. And respect for the message itself, which resonated across generations. Taylor's advice reminded Yolanda that no matter how successful her daughter becomes, she will always need grounding. She will always need voices of encouragement that echo louder than criticism. She will always need reminders that her worth comes from within, not from public opinion. Yolanda's response, therefore, was one of gratitude. Gratitude that her daughter had someone like Taylor in her circle. Gratitude that the world still holds voices of truth in an industry often clouded by illusions. Gratitude that advice rooted in compassion still finds its way into mainstream conversations. The exchange also highlights something bigger, the importance of women supporting women. In a culture that often pits women against each other, seeing solidarity is refreshing. Yolanda recognized this, and her reaction reflected pride in the direction the conversation is moving. She knows that when powerful women speak with authenticity, younger generations listen. And she knows the ripple effect can be profound. Taylor Swift's advice may have been simple, but simplicity often carries the deepest meaning. For Yolanda, it reaffirmed her hopes for her children. For Gigi, it echoed the strength she has already been building. And for the audience watching, it was another reminder that kindness and wisdom never lose their power. In a world filled with noise, such moments shine quietly, but brightly.